Urban Legend was released back in 1998, I believe, and stars Alisa Witt. And the story basically revolves around... Well, first off, this is basically one of those teenager slasher movies, so it has a little similar formula to some of the teenage slasher movies that we had during the 90s and stuff like that. But the story in this movie revolves around basically... The story in this movie basically revolves around these teenagers who are experiencing these unknown weird deaths that are occurring, and around campus there's supposedly an unknown suspect that's coming after Alisa Witt's character, whose friend supposedly died in a tragic event. And now her and her group of teens are being attacked by an unknown suspect that's coming after them one by one. The premise of teenage slasher movies are really interesting. You can make teenage slasher movies good or even great. Some of the best teenage slasher movies, and I'd even consider them my all-time favorites, are movies like Scream. Honestly, I think Scream might be the only best slasher movie for me, teen slasher movie for me, in my opinion. There are some pretty good and even decent teen slasher movies, like the Final Destination movies, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and let's be honest, I Know What You Did Last Summer is not that good, but it's not that bad either. Urban Legend to me is just a complete knockoff of Scream. This movie is literally a beat-for-beat ripoff of Scream. And it makes the premise of this movie so painfully obvious. There are a lot of things in this movie that are so predictable because we've seen these in other teenage slasher movies like Scream. And Scream was the teenage slasher movie that started the teenage slasher movie era. And since we know where the story's going and how everything's set up, it's just so painful to watch. Honestly, Urban Legend is one of the most disappointing horror movies I've technically experienced, because I actually wanted to like this movie, but the premise was so similar. It is basically the exact same movie, and the characters are useless, really. The acting is not even good, honestly. It's not good. The script doesn't really make sense sometimes, and I think it's because the choices of the characters the choices the characters make in this film. And I'm going to be honest, there are a couple of shocking moments here and there in this film, but literally that's it. And the thing that hurts Urban Legend so much is that it tries so hard to entertain its audience. This film tries so hard to bring you inside of the film, but it just can't. Because like I said, we've seen all of these elements in different kind of teenage horror films that actually worked. Like films like Scream. And first off, I thought it was a really, really cheesy idea to just knock off and be a complete ripoff of that Scream. First off, Scream is one of my all-time favorites. It's a modern classic. And this film, honestly, is just a beat-for-beat ripoff of Scream. Like, I almost forgot I was watching a different movie, because when I was watching this movie, I felt like I was just watching another Scream movie with no Ghostface in it. That's literally what it is. It's just a Scream movie with no Ghostface in it. And I found that to be very disappointing. I wanted a lot more from this movie. Like, I wanted the story to be a lot more stronger and have a lot of elements that we don't really see in teenage horror movies. Because teenage horror movies can be surprisingly good. You can do a lot in teenage horror movies. And it doesn't always end up good, because teenage horror movies aren't really great. They're not usually great. But it doesn't mean they're bad. Like I said, I only find Scream to be the only great teenage horror movie. The other ones aren't even that bad, though. Listen, if you are the type of person who just wants to watch a horror movie for fun and wants to watch a mystery and suspenseful movie with an unknown person slaughtering other people, I think Urban Legend will be a perfect movie for you. But if you are a die-hard fan of movies like Scream and you haven't experienced Urban Legend, I'd say stay away from this movie, because it just make you feel bad. It really would. And another thing that bugs me so much about Urban Legend is everything in this film is so obvious. We know everything that's going to appear. They always do these cliche horror things. And I know, yes, they've done a lot of cliche horror things in Scream, but the reason why it works is because Scream shocked its audience. It's one of the horror films that's been able to shock its audience for a while. And that's why the scares worked in Scream. The scares in this movie are so obvious, and it's because of movies like Scream. We've watched Scream, we've always loved Scream because it's a beloved film by a lot of viewers. Urban Legend just takes what Scream has and just pretends that we haven't experienced a lot of things. And I know I'm talking about Scream a lot. I know if you compare films like this to Scream, it's not good. But this film isn't even that good in general. There are a lot of dull moments. The characters aren't interesting. The direction isn't even that good in this film. And probably the worst part of Urban Legend is how the film ends. The concluding moments of Urban Legend, they don't hold up at all. They are just excruciatingly painful to watch, but I will be honest, there are a couple of shocking moments to get out of the ending parts of the movie, but overall, it is hard to watch, which made the entire experience of this movie hard to watch. And trust me when I say this, I seriously wanted to like this movie, but there are just so many things that I can't get over when I'm watching a movie like Urban Legend. Trust me, there is a scene which involves a policewoman, and she's talking on a walkie-talkie or something like that, and she doesn't even look serious when she talks. She almost looks like she's happy. Almost. That's just one of the reasons why the acting in this movie is so bad. And I couldn't get over it. It bugged me. It really did. As soon as I saw that scene, I was like, is she smiling? She doesn't look serious. The acting in this movie is not that good. Honestly, Urban Legend is not one of the worst horror movies ever. It's just a very, very disappointing movie. And I'm pretty sure it was a movie that a lot of people wanted to like, because technically it's not really known as one of the best teenager slasher movies or one of the best horror movies, like, at all. It's a very underrated film, and I can definitely see why. Urban Legend, it's a very disappointing film, and if you haven't seen it, I'd recommend staying away from it, but if you want to watch it, go right ahead. I'm going to give Urban Legend a D+. There's my review for Urban Legend. Thank you guys so much for watching, tuning into Horror Movie Month again. Look forward to more reviews that I'll be doing. And also, I just want to let you guys know, I've been getting a little more comments on my videos than usual, and I want to do a certain sort of Q&A video. I'm going to answer some questions that are in the comments sections below and stuff like that. And I'm also going to look at certain comments people are posting on my videos and stuff like that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and showing support to my channel. You guys are the best. I love every single one of you. And as always, I am Mario Fan 520, and I will see you next time. Peace out.